You drank your water through your straw like a cat. Jimin decided to give you a straw with your drink, and now both of your brothers are cooing at you. Suppose you adorable. Why are you guys squealing like a bunch of school cats? Mr. Jones said as he came up the stairs. Jungkook stood behind him with a cold stare. Look how cute she is, Jimin said and squished your cheeks. Stop harassing your sister. Mr. John rolled his eyes. I need you boys to order new bedroom stuff for her. I'll take her shopping tomorrow. I'm going, Jungkook said. He leaned against the railing with his arms crossed as he looked at you. Jungkook, Mr. John looked at him with a warning look. Jungkook never took his eyes off you though. He trapped your eyes in his, putting you in a trance. Why would you like me to go with you? He asked. You looked at your dad and brothers. They didn't seem to be too fond of Jungkook asking you, but you felt comfortable with him close unlike the other men. Yes, you know that. He smoked at your brothers. Whatever. Taeyong rolled his eyes. I'm only going to say this once. Don't lead her on, then toss her aside. Your dad pointed his finger at Jungkook. Wouldn't dream of it. He said you didn't really know what was happening, but you just sat there and drank your water. Jungkook chuckled at you and stepped closer. That caused your brothers to glare at him. He glared at them and moved around to stand in front of you. He reached down and placed a hand on your cheek. It was warm and you welcomed it. Jungkook, Taeyong gave him a weird look and he nodded. You're right. He removed his hand and turned back to the railing. He leaned over it with his head in his hands. Why would he remove his hand? It was warm. You look at your brothers, who shake their heads. Let's get you some real food. Mr. Jones said. You nodded and followed him to the bar downstairs. You noticed there was a handful of men who had pretty women on their laps or sitting next to them. They had jackets on too. Those are the mates, Jimin said. You gave him a confused look. They are married or together with the men. You nodded. You wonder if you could ever be a maid. None of them are good enough for you, Jimin said. You giggled as he glared at the men. No one is good enough for her, Taeyong pointed out. You pouted. You wanted to have some sort of life. If I wanted to be with someone? You asked them. Both boys looked at you with a hard stare. They did not like your comment. They have to be worthy enough, Jimin said darkly. You just met these boys, but you know they would protect you against anything if need to be, and you felt comfortable with that fact. I got you a burger and some fries, Mr. Jones said as he stood next to you. He handed you a plate with a tall burger with fries on it. Thank you. You took the plate carefully as you sat down at a table away from everyone. A guy with a towel over his shoulder set a cup in front of you. Here you go, darling. The man had a strong southern accent. You looked at the drink cautiously. It's just some coke, the man said and nodded. He means root beer. He calls all soda coke. Jimin rolled his eyes. Thank you. You smiled softly at the man. Name's Cowboy and not just because of my accent. He winked before disappearing to the bar. You was not sure what he meant, but you could tell it not an appropriate statement. Your brothers flipped their middle finger out at his retreating back. Damn, can't keep a dirty joke from slipping out, can he? Taeyong slammed his hand on the table, making you jump a little. Sorry, Taeyong said. You are scaring her. Your dad glared at him. It's okay. You nodded after you finished eating your burger very slowly since it was your first meal in 2 days. After a while, your dad brought you to his office.